Hey guys, um, I had an idea. I have no idea if it's going to work out, but I want to do it. I'm not sure how to define the idea, so we're going to move forward. And the basic idea is we're going to look at variations. So let's just move forward and see how it goes. Okay, we're going to play a really regular kind of, everyone's doing regular things, right? So let's look at variation one. Everybody's equal. There are no problems. On the other hand, strong players are you just not 1% might play this way because nothing's happening. It's boring. It's black started out with a certain advantage playing first. Black still has that exact same advantage. There's no chance for anybody to improve, as it were, especially white. So if black had played here, white might play here. That's different. High versus low, that's going to mean something different. You see, we're looking at variations. Okay. So black mostly is likely going to play here. Okay. Two interesting variations here. If white does nothing, black gets an interesting press. It's interesting because he got a reasonable position on the right in Sente. He didn't get any points, but now whose turn was it? It's white to play. So white plays away to wherever. I'll put it high. And it's not that black has an advantage, but rather most people prefer having the outside where black is, although having the inside where the cash is, that's fine too. Perhaps my point is white usually plays here first to stop that. Now let's imagine black playing over there. Well, we get to pounce on this stone, right? So black usually doesn't have to, but usually fixes. Then everyone's done, and we go to the next corner. Okay, so this is our first chance to look at a variation. Okay, variation one. White goes to this corner. Black, white, black, white. Black's going to take Sente. Since white just took a corner, black's going to take a corner. This is just one of the many possibilities. And now black's thinking two things. The right's big because he has a wall there. Also, since white's already there, any approach helps white, hurts black. That makes the right kind of big. On the other hand, the bottom right corner also has some size to it. So there's some, black could play this way. Black could also play this way. Let's just check that out. Let's play this again. We get variations on each corner. They're all fine. Is really the story here is that every variation we'll look at is fine. Some differences, some preferences, totally different games. Let's see. In this game, black played first. Now we need a white stone to finish it. I'm going to put it here. And so who's ahead? It's even. Everyone's stable. Everyone's strong. Okay. Now, instead, let's make it not even. That's a big move. Yeah. And now you're going to suffer for a while. If black says, I pinch you back, sorry, you're dead. They can't do that. I better get out. Great. Who's taking the right? White has the right more than black. White's stable. Black's still not stable. There's going to be lots of moves in the future where white's gaining profit because black never settled. Now, that's something you don't want to do. You see Q players do it all the time, even strong Q players. They'll try to get fancy and not realize that if you just settle, you're playing great Go. Okay, so let's compare that board position. Everything's fine for everybody. White's looking for, this is an interesting move for white later. There's a chance to come in, and he may well have done that instead of the corner. I just put it somewhere. And they're both fine. It's not like one's wrong. It's style. Okay, next. Instead of white getting flattened here, let's have white respond. Black says, I love that corner. Okay. Should white play here to punish? Well, no, because black can ignore this and not be that bad. So white should take his time. This is potentially a mistake. White should take his time playing the big area. And notice, if white plays in the big area, this move just got bigger because white has a two-stone wall facing this direction. Well, that being the case, black will likely now come back and finish, and then white gets the next move somewhere. Everything's equal. So, like I said in the beginning, I'm unclear how to define what I'm doing. Actually, it's hard to define the goal. So we've come this far, and I would say the goal is, if you start to understand that your job is to settle your group, and you do that, assuming you're a Q player or a 3 down or below, that's probably going to up you many Qs, many levels. When I've done this many times, I go over to the KJS active games list. I go pick up 10 Qs, 1 Qs, 3 dons, whatever it is. I open up a game. It's horrible. Really. No one's settled in the groups. Everyone's trying to be special. When I was ready I was 4 don. When I first got to 4 don, I was quite weak. And that's when I started taking my first lessons. And I had to break my game all the way down, start learning all over again. And when I thought I was ready to go to 5 don, I'm like, okay, I will do nothing. All I'll do, settle my groups and play the next big move. So in other words, just basic Go. And I know that my opponent isn't going to do that. Not until they're 5 or 6 done. Sure enough, I settle. He doesn't. As soon as everything's prepared, I go and attack, and there's my free profit, and I win the game. Over and over and over and over and over, because they're not settling their groups. So learn how to settle. So all these are examples of, you just settle your group. It matters how the game progresses, but it only starts to matter 4 down on up. Then by the time you get to 6 down, if you miss a little 1 point something or other, oh man, you're falling behind. I mean, you need every point on the board that's yours, you need to take. 3 down? Not at all. I remember, and I've told the story before, I was playing a simul in a club, and there was 7 boards, I think. And the 2 boards that stood out one was the 3 down, and I could tell just by his body language, it's already over. He's going to try to be fancy. I just never spent more than 2 seconds on a move. It's nothing. He's going to try to get fancy. It won't work. I'll win. So it was easy. The hard one was this 8-year-old boy. He was 6Q. He says, if you don't mind, could we just play even? I got to tell you, that worried me. I don't know if you know kids, they can play pretty strong when they want to. He almost beat me. Seriously. All he did was settle his group, get his group out, don't get surrounded. That's all he did. I barely won. So it's It's a thing. Okay, so that's fine. Let's look at another one. Let's look at black decides to leave the area altogether and play 3-3. Perfectly fine. Now, I think you'll find most strong players will play this way. But let's play this way. There's nothing wrong with it. The temptation, check it out. Doesn't it look like white's going for a big right side? If you do that against, I always pick 4-dawn and above because 4-dawn's where you start to know how to work your board. You're playing strong and you know how to work the board. If white does this, if white hangs on to these points, white's going to lose because none of them are real. For instance, that stone can still live. It's not all the way dead. You can find stuff in there. I mean, just for instance, hard to get a lot of, I mean, he's going to find some life in here. Then what are you doing? But if I just negate that, oh, then I'll kill you. That's a lot of stones for a not that big corner. So the corner's not great. Oh, yeah. But as soon as black runs out, I'm going to get the whole right side. Then black won't run out. Black will just play here first, approaching the area. Are you really going to let black play these moves? You can't. You're too focused on the right. So why play this way and then anything? Just come in. How about attack the wall? It's just so you have to be really careful when you play this kind of thing to not focus on the right. That's why I don't play it. I can't control myself. Like, oh man, I'm going to pounce. I'm going to pounce on that stone. It just doesn't work out. That's why I play here. And I found 80%, 90% of the time, strong players will play this way. So we're just going to look at this. I don't know why. Boom, boom. We'll just play the normal move. We know the 3 white stones are safe because they can run side, center, the other center, bother black on the right. It's easy white stones. So white's going to play away. Attacking the right too early. He's going to play a big move over here. Now, there's variations. Black has to ask, how do I feel about this? Well, if we look here, let's imagine 2 things. One, white plays this way, which threatens this move. That's a pretty big threat. So black's going to start running. Black runs, fixes. That hole's still there. And white's getting the top. I mean, that's a little scary. Well, what if instead of that, white chooses another road? Is black going to ignore? If black ignores, the cut up top here is getting interesting. What's it going to continue? Look at this wall white got. It's amazing. I mean, that's hard. So black has to consider, what am I going to do here if I allow this? Should I start hitting the wall right away? Should I play this big move preparing to come in so that once this is all done, I'll be able to pinch well because it's harder for white? Or should I just back off to this? Or maybe this one. Which one's better? So all these, but as long as you choose a rational road and stay out of trouble and settle your groups. Like trouble because one move readout, we're seeing this black stone and nothing but white on top. That's scary. That's a lot of white area. As long as you're aware of major things like this. Now, one more thing about settling your group. Black plays here. White says, you fool. Great, go for it. I'm not going to settle my group. I've got you. Well, do you really have me? First of all, that stone has a surprising amount of life in it. At the moment, if it's We only look at life and death in the upper left. Black is dead. But any change out here, black's alive because the cuts start working. We won't go into it. So white plays here. Black starts to surround. Who's winning? I'm starting to put my money on black because A is one stone that's not all the way dead. B's 3 stones that he can't give up. You can't give up those 3. Those are important stones. A is just a stone, not a group. B's a group. So when I say to settle your groups, there's always context. What does that mean? When do I settle? Like black has not yet settled at A on the bottom right. It says, oh, no, I'm not in a rush to do that. Now that's all advanced stuff. If you want to, get up to Don's, just play your A. Settle your group. Don't say, if I don't settle right now, no, just settle. If you do that, you will learn how to play strong go. And all of a sudden, leaving something out for him to take if he wants, you'll understand better. And you can start applying that. But just to start with, settle your groups. Okay, I don't know how we're doing with undefined things, but we're just going to look a little bit more for fun. We were here. I can ignore. It's Joseki says I can ignore if I want. But in this case, white's playing here and extending. Pretty regular. Third line's fine. Fourth line's fine. Play fourth line. Get used to it. It's better. Black A, fine. Black B, great. Black C, stop white from playing there. It's a big move for white. And it's a big corner for black. That's a nice move. D, no problem. E, no, you'll fall behind. Now that's a little bit overstatement. If you play E and try to live, develop, use E as a sacrifice stone, that's fine. Now, why is this? Because of the F group. Low, settled. Black wants nothing to do with the top now. Then why are we playing on top? Unless you want to sacrifice to some special plan. But the top is the small area. A, B, C, D, they're all fine. What about here? Well, first, there's corners to play in, and you're playing the side. So we want to call that immediate loss. Oh, but I'm defending my group there. It doesn't need defense. So in that regard, it's slow. Well, I'm creating points. Not really. First of all, white can probably come in, not that he wants to. Second, once I get there, I'm still on the wrong button. I hate that. A couple bugs in KGS. And I don't know if you know the guy who made KGS. Super guy. Not only is he a great guy, that's the least of his qualities. The greatest of his qualities, his family. He has an amazing family. Really, I think it was 3 girls and his wife. Wonderful people who can't believe that this stupid husband and father, why is everyone treating him like a god? He's just Bill the schmuck. They can't believe that everyone's like, oh, Bill's here. It's funny. Really great people. Okay. This is side move. And is it really that big? Are you going to give white points in an attempt to take more? I mean, it's just not big enough. Now, before AI, we were pulling it off, but AI taught us how to take advantage of these things. B, oh, you bet. Maybe I'll get the whole right. So that's a big move for white or black. This one, why? You're playing side again. Oh, but it's Sente. It isn't really Sente because I thought you said it was Sente. It's white's move. So your move was Gote. On the side, and far from home. Didn't do anything. So corners first. I know that's obvious, corners first, but check out the KGS active games list. 2Qs, so they're pretty strong. Check it out. They're not playing corners. They're not settling the groups. Why? I go around KGS and I check out when I see an interesting name, at all interesting. I'll open up the info. If there's no info, I go on. But all of a sudden you see someone with a particularly interesting picture or interesting information. I'll strike up a conversation. I'll look at the game. If it's like, they could, if they understand one or two little things, they could get strong. I'll open up a dialogue. Hey, do you mind if I show you a couple things? You get to meet a lot of nice people that way. And some people like, I don't know, who are you? So sometimes people don't like it. Other times people love it. So I don't know. I'm rambling. I do that. You may have noticed. So this whole video is about play any variation you want. Play any opening you want. Just play corners first. Settle your groups. You'll do well quickly. Okay, that's it. Hope it was helpful. Catch y'all later. Bye.